Do you ever wonder why certain things happen to you or why you find yourself in specific situations? Could it be karma? It's a question that's been asked for centuries and is still being pondered today. Let's try to unravel the enigma that is karma. The term karma comes from the ancient Indian language Sanskrit and essentially means action. It's a cornerstone of several Eastern philosophies and religions, including Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism. Many of us, however, are more familiar with the simplified version, often popularized in Western culture, which portrays karma as a supernatural system of cosmic justice, where good deeds are rewarded and bad deeds are punished. But is that all there is to it? Not quite. The traditional understanding of karma is far more nuanced. It is viewed as a principle of cause and effect that applies to our thoughts, words, and actions. It suggests that our past actions influence our present, and our present actions shape our future. In essence, karma is the spiritual equivalent of Newton's third law of motion, which states that for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. It's not about judgment or retribution from a higher power. Instead, it's about understanding the interconnectedness of all things and recognizing that our actions have consequences, not just for ourselves, but for the world around us. Now, it's crucial to note that karma isn't about predestination or fatalism. We aren't just passive recipients of some cosmic script. We have free will. We can choose our actions, and in doing so, we play an active role in shaping our own destiny. Karma is a mirror that reflects back to us the results of our own deeds. It helps us see that we're not separate from the universe, but part of a grand, intricate web of cause and effect. It's a tool for self-awareness and spiritual growth, nudging us to act with wisdom and compassion. Karma, therefore, is not about punishment or reward, but about the natural consequences of our actions. As we journey further into this topic, let's keep this in mind and strive to understand the profound implications it holds for our lives. Let's make it simple. Karma is like an echo. What you give out, you get back. Imagine you're in a canyon and you decide to shout out a greeting. Your voice travels across the expanse, bounces off the canyon walls, and eventually that same greeting comes back to you. That's karma. The energy you send out into the world through your actions and intentions eventually finds its way back to you. It's an echo of your own deeds, echoing back to you in the form of consequences. Let's take another example. Picture a boomerang. When you throw a boomerang, it arcs out into the world, spins around, and comes back to you. In much the same way, karma is the boomerang of your actions. You toss it out into the world and it returns to you, carrying the consequences of your actions. Now let's imagine you're planting a garden. If you plant apple seeds, you wouldn't expect to harvest oranges, would you? Of course not. This is another way to understand karma. The seeds you sow through your actions are the same seeds that grow and bear fruit in your life. If you sow seeds of kindness and generosity, you'll reap a harvest of goodwill and positivity. On the flip side, if you plant seeds of negativity and harm, you'll reap a harvest of discord and strife. And finally, consider the ripples in a pond. When you throw a stone into a pond, it creates ripples that spread outwards, affecting the entire body of water. Similarly, your actions create ripples in the world around you, influencing others and the world at large. And just as the ripples can bounce back from the edge of the pond to the point of origin, the effects of your actions can and do come back to you. So in essence, the energy you put out into the world, whether positive or negative, will eventually find its way back to you. But how does karma work? Is there a cosmic scorekeeper keeping track of our deeds? Well, the concept is simpler and more profound than that. Imagine karma as a universal law similar to the law of gravity. Just as an apple doesn't require a judge to fall from a tree, our actions don't need a cosmic scorekeeper for their consequences to manifest. It's not about a judgmental universe, but rather a self-regulating one. So how does this self-regulation happen? Let's dive a little deeper. Every action we take, every word we utter, and even every thought we entertain creates a ripple in the universe. These ripples, like waves in a pond, spread out, influencing everything they touch. Think about a simple act of kindness, like helping a stranger pick up their dropped groceries. This act creates positive ripples, not just making the stranger's day better, but also inspiring them to act kindly towards others. In this way, the effect of your single act of kindness can spread far and wide. Now let's consider the opposite scenario. If you were to act rudely or harmfully towards someone, that negative energy would also create ripples, potentially leading to more negativity being spread. What's important to understand here is that these ripples don't just affect the world around us, they also come back to us. This is where the concept of what goes around comes into play. You see, the universe has a fascinating way of balancing things out. So, when we act with love, kindness, and generosity, we create a positive energy that eventually finds its way back to us. Conversely, when we act out of anger, greed, or malice, we set into motion a cycle of negative energy that also returns to us. In essence, karma isn't about reward or punishment. It's about cause and effect. It's about understanding that our actions have consequences, not just for others, but also for us. Karma then is not destiny, but our own doing. It is not a punishment, but a mirror reflecting our actions. So let's be mindful of the ripples we create. So can we see karma in action in our everyday lives? Indeed we can. Karma is not limited to grand, life-altering events. It's present in the smaller, seemingly insignificant moments of our daily lives. Consider this. You're rushing to work and in your haste you spill a cup of coffee on a passerby. It's an accident, of course, but the other person's day is now off to a sour start and you are the cause. This is a minor example of how our actions, intentional or not, can impact others, and in turn, our karma. Or let's take relationships. Picture a scenario where you've been unkind or dismissive to a loved one. Over time, this behavior can strain your relationship, leading to conflict and unhappiness. This is karma in the context of relationships. It teaches us that our actions, words, and even thoughts towards others can have a profound impact on our personal connections. In the workplace too, karma is at play. Say you've been slacking off, not putting in your best effort. Sooner or later, your productivity dips, your performance reviews take a hit, and you may even lose your job. This is not luck or chance, it's karma, the result of your actions. But remember, karma isn't simply about consequences, it's also about opportunities for growth. The karma from your actions today can shape your future in ways you might not even realize. If you've been kind, generous, and hardworking, these qualities won't go unnoticed. They'll come back to you in the form of opportunities, success, and overall happiness. On a broader scale, our collective karma as a society, a nation, or even a species can shape our collective destiny. Our actions towards our environment, for example, can have far-reaching consequences for all of us. Karma, therefore, is not just a spiritual concept, but a practical guide for living. It reminds us that every action, no matter how small, has an effect, and that effect in turn shapes our lives and the world around us. Karma is not just about the past or the present, it's also about how we shape our future. Imagine having the power to dictate the course of your life, to be the master of your own destiny. That's the power of karma. Karma is not about punishment or reward. It's about understanding the natural law of cause and effect. It's about being aware of how our actions, our decisions, and even our thoughts can shape the circumstances of our lives. Think about the last time you made a decision. Was it impulsive or was it considered? Were you mindful of its potential consequences? That's the essence of karma, being aware of our actions and their repercussions. It's about realizing that every action, every decision, every thought has an effect. Now let's talk about empowerment. Accepting the concept of karma can be incredibly empowering. It means taking responsibility for our actions, understanding that we are not passive victims of fate, but active shapers of our own destiny. Consider this: every action you take, every decision you make is like planting a seed. That seed will grow and bear fruit. And the type of fruit it bears is directly related to the type of seed you planted. So, if you plant the seeds of kindness, understanding, and empathy, you're likely to reap a harvest of positivity and good fortune. Conversely, if you sow seeds of negativity, discord, and selfishness, your harvest may be less than desirable. Karma, then, is about choice. It's about choosing our actions wisely, with an understanding of their potential consequences. It's about being mindful of the ripple effects our actions can create, not just for ourselves, but for those around us as well. So remember, every action, every decision you take today is shaping your future. And that future is not predestined. It's not out of your hands. It's in your hands, shaped by your actions, your decisions. Karma, thus, is not about fate, but about choice. It's about recognizing that our actions today will shape our tomorrow.